Parker and Hasbro is just not moving forward at all on anything. So this is something that's been in the works for like 10 years. Me and Aaron wanted to do. And I love Michael Madsen as an actor. You know, he does a lot of poetry. Raise your hand if you know Michael Madsen. You know, Reservoir Dogs, all that. Donnie Brasco, I don't know what else. Kill Bill. What else? I just like him. Because I met him in my movie premiere. We got along really well and I wanted to work with him. He's worked with Pacino, he's worked with a lot of good people. I've never seen him like this scene that we had together was organically, like we were both crying, like for real. And that's, I don't see Michael's side of that. So Michael had a lot of good words to say, and I never had a chance to like dig my teeth into some good action. Not just by the lines, but emotion. So you saw the beginning of the trailer, Eric Reed had no tattoos, and then he comes back into the movie all tatted up. So I thought I have to explain what that was. Originally, it was they wanted me to paint everything, put my hair, I look like Tommy. I don't want to do that. I'm 49. I want to have tattoos. I decided to put a mohawk. I put a fake tattoo, 1263 on the side, that represents like, you know, how many people he thought he destroyed and all that stuff. So I went really deep in my character, and then told someone how deep I went in my character, and they want to make that a comic book. So you can read the comic book to see how I come back, why I'm so hardened. I was a treasure hunter, and my dad was a thief. So I would collect treasures, and my dad would steal diamonds, and that's Michael Madsen. And that's the jewel that he ends up giving me. So when I see my dad in jail, I haven't seen him in years. So he always wants stuff, that's what I assume. And he told me he had this crystal. I didn't really believe it, I wanted nothing to do with it, and that's the powers of the White Dragon. But the crystal broke in half. And so Dragon Prime, he ends up coming after me. But the only difference is I have the blood, the DNA of a superhero that can activate the White Dragon, but I only have half the crystal. So I have the blood, Jai doesn't, but he owns the pharmaceutical company. Just like most superhero movies, he injects all this fake serum to try to activate the suit to get revenge on me for a little bit. And then you gotta watch the movie from there, but it's very deep. And then Ashmore on the end is a brand new villain. So 1263, I disappeared to protect my family, and it's a whole new world. I figured in this movie, instead of just Gotham being Gotham, like move away, you're so bad type of thing. In my head, I put this as one big world of, you know, we got Gotham, we got Spider-Man, but this whole big world of just terror and torment where you have superheroes in every town. In my head, you know, where it begins instead of virtual city, what we have. So I just put it like around the whole world. So I moved to a different part. And Jenna and Serena, you guys, Serena's from what season? Yellow Ranger and Lightspeed. That's good. That's the reason why we put her in the movie. She did a Disney show called Stuck in the Middle, and my daughter auditioned for that. She didn't get it. And as a father, I kept telling her, you know, try again, try again, try again. Well, now she's in my movie playing my daughter, working with Serena, who was the mom of Stuck in the Middle. So when she came to set, she either was like deep acting or I have to fire her. I don't want to fire her. I'll be the worst at it. Anyway, I'll come up here and do some questions and answers. And one thing, just so you know, as I sit higher on the stage, I'm no better than anyone else. We're all the same. The celebrity thing is like, I know you grew up watching me, but I don't really like a lot of celebrities. I don't mean that in a bad way. The only difference is I was very happy to do the show. I grew up with no money. Money doesn't matter. I grew up in like, when I say trailer park, everyone says, oh, me too. No, I grew up in a mobile home with no carpet, no electricity, no water. I had a shower in an outhouse. I had to go to the outhouse. My mom had to cook propane. Once the generator went out, we had no TV. That's why I'm used to not watching television. So it was one of those things where my dad and mom took care of me, and my brother. Those were more happy times than with the Instagram, and social media, and this and that, and it became like shocking. So when I became the Green Ranger, it was one of those things. My brother, you know, he passed away a long time ago, and I don't feel bad, he's up there watching. But he played my real brother on the show, right? I tried to get him more episodes. He only did 5. him a real brother and all that stuff. So he was kind of a tough guy, and he thought acting was really easy, and that was the hardest thing he did. You know, he'd step on the line and this, and then sweating. You're my brother. And I say, cut. I said, what's wrong with you, man? Oh man, this is hard. This is a lot harder. I said, be you. Oh, okay. You're my brother? The whole time. And I've never seen him sweat so hard. I mean, you know, he's a tough guy. Never seen him sweat so hard. And I loved it. Because it's not easy to be yourself, which I was able to be myself in the White Dragon as Eric Reed, with tattoos, with real emotions, ups and downs of, you know, just, I got poetry out there, mental health poetry. We're all not normal, but that's what makes us better and shines. We shine different because we're all different fingerprints. But what we can do is help each other and help the youth understand one thing: is to be kind. Your last 9 days to be kind. I don't care if someone hates you. I used to get very angry at someone and be like, but I was never jealous over anyone. I was happy for them. And that's the difference. Sometimes people don't want you to rise to the top. They just don't want you to succeed. We all have family members who might got not, you don't have to raise your hand because it might be sitting next to you. But we all have family members that sometimes we don't get along with. Because we're family, you're supposed to. But in my opinion, you got to feed your emotional. Sometimes we got to feed our emotional bank account more than anything else. And to me, like, success is being happy. And I was happy doing the movie. I'm happy meeting people. This show, I was supposed to come Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I called Dave. He's like, oh no, it's okay. You can take care of your business. And no, I'll come Saturday. I'm going to be here for you guys. I'm not leaving no one hanging. So I enjoy it. This is like a hobby and a passion. So one thing I noticed during COVID, because I always look with just the eyes. You know, we have just the eyes covered. And I always look and wonder, like, are you really engaged and listening to what I'm saying, or you're not? And when you meet people sometimes, I don't care if they're actors or not, hey, how's it going? I tell Jenna sometimes, she don't have to do this, and we go backstage and be herself. I myself come out and talk to you, and then I'm going to go over here. So that's what's acting for me is all about. So Michael said very kind things about me, but it's hard to be yourself on the mark when other people are watching and then you become to act. The best moments in acting are silence. It's listening. And that's a lot with this movie. Aaron wants to cuss. I don't cut all that. You know, Braveheart, Mel Gibson, it doesn't matter about words. It matters about emotions and what people feel. So I feel that emotions is the universal language that we should all understand. Even if we don't speak the same language, how don't you know that this kid's happy? Because I played ball with an Indian kid in Customs one day. Yeah, I got sent to Customs, but anyway, it's a different story. But I was in there for a few hours, and I was playing ball with him, and we couldn't speak the language, but he was so happy. So, if you see someone sad, you see someone happy, sometimes we have to speak, you know? Pat him on the back, whatever the situation is. I had a volunteer at the last con, and I don't like talk, but I walked by and she was so sad, and like this energy pulled me back. And I went up and I said, what's wrong? I'm having a bad anxiety attack, and I deal with anxiety too. So the best thing about that is just to relax and coach her through a little bit, even though I was late to my table. But for me, that's like, you should not remember how many kind things you do. People come up, remember you did this, or some guy, I don't know. I'll sell people money to go to shows just for fun, and they'll show up. I gave some guy money for Chris Abbott's autograph, and he did get it. So I'm gonna give you money for Chris's autograph because he didn't have it. But then Chris told me he came to him, so he's so lucky. But anyway, the point is, you shouldn't remember all the stuff, but you should remember just to be a regular person. So what I'm saying about being a celebrity, you always start as a 5. You're a 10. You're all 10s. I don't know you all 10s. I start as a 5. I gotta earn 6. I gotta earn 7. I gotta earn 8. And you will walk away and say, actually, he's a pretty cool guy. But if you're with a friend, you're not gonna say, actually, he's a pretty cool guy. Because I know a lot of actors who aren't. And I know a lot of people who aren't either. So that's the stigma we gotta get is at 5. That's why I'm could go up there, but I'm no better than anyone else, just so you know. Okay, I just go up there as this. But anyway, you got any questions about Power Rangers? I know the 30th year anniversary came and all that stuff. But that's what I got on my 30th year anniversary came. I wasn't part of it because, in my opinion, the originals, Austin, Dave, me, Amy, and Tweet. And I'll tell you a story on the mic about how I got the Green Ranger. Okay?
Alright, now I'm better than all you know. I'm just kidding. You really remind me of check all these people. Alright.
You all can hear me while I was talking, right?
Okay, so let me give you a little story real quick, since people think I just arrived. The show was Mark Dacascos in the movie, even though he was in John Wick and Double Dragon and all that stuff. He auditioned for Power Rangers, and he was the red. He was the red Bioman in 1986 for Power Ranger pilot. So I used to lose a lot of roles to Mark, but I'm so glad the pilot was not picked up in 1986 because I wouldn't be there in 1993. So, but the world ties in very small. It's a very small world, and there's a lot of people I meet. There's a lot of people that I meet that I don't know, maybe disappointed, and I'm not talking celebrities, other people. So sometimes just to give and don't expect back. That's why I write a lot of poetry on my YouTube, the JDFFFN. Me and Michael Madsen's poetry is completely different. He will just spit out all this stuff and you're like, oh my gosh, you went through all that? No emotions. But my poetry is good. I think it's the toughest thing to do is to look at yourself in the mirror and fix yourself. And kind of admit your flaws and everything. So Power Rangers kind of changed my life a little bit. I enjoyed it. I didn't think I'd be around forever. I only had 15 episodes, and I kind of lived by, and I'll tell you about the green and the yellow, I kind of lived by this motto, and a lot of motivational guys would disagree. Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, I don't really care about them. Listen to what I say. And I agree with what they got. We got the past, we have now, and we have the future. You gotta know where you're going, so we should know where we're going. But in this moment, today, you gotta give 110% to have a better tomorrow. Otherwise, 20% energy will go into what you're doing tomorrow. Like right now, this Q&A, I'm not gonna worry about what I got next. I gotta put in my best. And so when I teach martial arts with the instructors, I tell them, teach class the same if it was 1 or 1,000 people. There's no difference. You shouldn't give anyone extra treatment or equal. And my thing, for me, when I say last man standing, I'll sign, sometimes won't eat, but I'll sign for 13, 14 hours or whatever. And my job, for me, I'm my own CEO, so it's hard to, I want to set standards. For me, it's easy just to be like, nope, I'm my own boss. But I want high standards and be truthful and treat the last person just as good as the first. And I would not want to be sort of stand in line, meet someone, and be the 999 person. Hey, how's it going? I'm so tired. So I don't think it. What I do is I push the refresh button. So I pretend that I don't hear the question, what's your favorite color? I refresh. So when you come up, it's refreshing. So I can talk, engage, and look into your eyes. And there's some people that come up, you get the same experience. I'm not gonna let y'all leave with nothing. I want to treat people equal. And so anyway, the pilot was shot, and the Yellow Ranger was in it. She left. So I went to an agency. Long story short, cut my hair. This is where persistence comes in. Cut my hair. Well, they told me cut my hair and take out my earrings. No one's gonna hire you. You need to clean up your image. I didn't think my image was bad because I grew out my hair and put earrings back anyway. But I cut my hair. This is the problem when people tell you something. I really believe it. So don't say something if you don't mean it. Cut your hair, take your earrings out, come back, and I'll, hire you or whatever. I cut my hair, took my earrings out, went back the next day, and he gave me one of these. He said, I don't have time right now or whatever. And I stood there, had one of my black belts, and I was like, well, I cut my hair, took my earrings out. What can we do about it? He said, well, I'm booking a Coca-Cola commercial. I said, okay. wasn't a bully, but I stood my ground. It's like, you told me this, and I come back, and now you're denying me, so I don't know what we do about it. And it was this weird awkwardness moment where he looked and he like searched around and gave me something called Phantoms, and that was Power Rangers. Now, if I tucked my tail and was like, okay, and then, you know, someone tells you something, and you call them out on it, hey man, this is what you told me, I don't quite understand why you would say that when I did that. If I'm not representing you, okay, and left, consistency, I would never be here. So you gotta believe in yourself, number one. So I got Power Rangers, and then I showed up, and it was like maybe 5 guys there, probably about 20 or 30 girls. I'm a real black belt, right? Like I train, I national competitor, all this stuff, and I look at all the actors' belts, and I look at the uniforms, and I talk to them a little bit, and they would just give me like a bunch of BS stories or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, he don't train. So my idea was to go in and just treat it like a tournament. There's an episode called Gun Ho, and that's what they wrote that episode based off my audition. So I went in there, said a few lines. I was nervous. It was Zordon, I don't even know who he is. And just said lines. I didn't even know what it was. I thought I was really auditioning for a ranger fighting with Smokey the Bear. That's what I thought. I don't know what a ranger is. That's it. So I did my lines, and they said, "Can you come back tomorrow?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll come back." So I went back, and it was me and like 10 girls, and I was like, okay, is this for girls or is this for guys? I'm about to take it all the way to the top. But so they said, hey, I was the only guy there. They came out and said, do me a favor, pick a girl and teach them what you just did. I said, like, what, like a routine content? That's what I do. So I looked and I picked Tweety because she had charisma, and I slowed her down, and she didn't know what she was doing, really. And then she, did all these moves, and then that's how we became Rangers. So the whole rumor of me auditioning for the Red Ranger, it was not possible because they were already hired. So the pilot was already shot. So there's a lot of things like audition for the Red. I auditioned for what I got, the Green Ranger. And Tweety, we both walked out of there. Well, I went in again for a callback, and they said, "Can you do that again?" I said, "Yeah." I did my lines. It was a big conference table. I did my kata. I just stood there. And they were like, cool, you're hired. And I was like, yes. So that was like 14 episodes. And I didn't worry. I knew I was going to die. And we couldn't because it was a kid's show, but I already knew I was going to be gone. I just did that moment, what I'm telling you now, every day. Showed up early, showed up late. I was the last one out, first one in. Every day, until I was doing a table read, and I had a line that says morphin' time. I was like, yeah, I really don't want to say that line, man. I'm not the leader. Let me just be talking over here. I don't know why he's got a girlfriend or whatever. And then they took me and they sold me all over the world for Cybertron, which is We Are Troopers. And then the White Ranger came back. But what I realized now is I was like, oh, I feel honored, which I do. Everybody petitioned, kids, mostly kids. Parents didn't know. Kids said they're not going to eat. They're not going to school, so they would get flooded calls all the time. So then I realized that they brought me back because I was popular, but I think they brought me back for legal purposes. They're like, oh no, we're going to get sued. These kids don't eat. So the White Ranger was like one of the, I don't know if you all know, you got to be older for JR, Who Shot JR, type of thing on Dallas. My mom loved that show, but we did this without social media, and that episode was the highest rated episode that we beat the JR episode. So it was the most anticipated thing for kids. Who's the White Ranger? The only thing missing was the Eminem song. Yes, who's bad? So that's how I became the White Ranger, and every day I focused on what today was, not what tomorrow is. Meaning, and this is truthful, I didn't know we had to wait to get picked up on the show. Everyone's all worried, we're going to get picked up, we got a job. Like, I didn't know we have to wait for Fox to say you're picked up for another season. I didn't have to, because it's been a network show for 30 years. So why worry about if I'm getting picked up? I had a school, everyone worried about that. Who have a job? Like, I do, because I already believe in it. But if you get the chance and you want to learn a little bit more about Power Rangers, listen to Haim Saban's podcast. And I was actually working on a show that was already canceled. They never told the actors. And it was, if they told me, I still would have worked on it. You know what I mean? Because you have to believe in yourself in order to move forward. And that's kind of what I did. It was a really weird thing. I walked in the dressing room and saw this Green Ranger, whatever it was, saw the helmet. I don't know what it is. The mouth wasn't talking. I was like, I have no lines. I'm not gonna say anything. I guess I'm just gonna fight. But I loved it. You know, I was probably the only Ranger because Japanese footage. I was the only Ranger. I know this for a fact to actually fight in my suit with Austin in the Dark Dimension. So everyone else was stunt guys. So that was me in the Dark Dimension. It was really cool to have that experience. So the Legend of White Dragon, we built that suit a little bit better to move, you know, because technology now, the movie suit weighed 55 pounds, made of rubber tires. So technology nowadays is a lot better. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, you guys will raise your hand and I'm happy to answer them. You guys know, speaking of Transformers here, you guys know I was emissary of Transformers, right? Titans Returns, Warner Brothers. I was a little brain of Fortress Maximus, right? Yeah, so they said I'm a Transformer. I grew up with Transformers. I'm doing all the original voice with the Transformers, and I was pretty honored to do that. And then they said, here's your character, and I thought it was really cool, but then they zoomed out, and I was like, well, what do you mean? That's me? And I'm Titan. And I was like, I want to be like a big Transformer. But they said, you're the brain. And I was like, okay. It's cool. So in order to get that toy, you got to get like the big, Fortress Maximus toy. So, what's your question, bud? Got shot nice and loud.
Sign my card.
Sign your card? What kind of card you got? Baseball card? Let me see it. Let me see what kind of card. Come up here real quick. I got real glasses, bro.
I have a mic for anybody who needs to ask a question.
Let me see it. No, I'm on stage. Come back. Come sit up here. Have a seat. You got to tell them your name.
Henry.
Henry, how old are you?
10.
You guys know that martial arts is a really good thing. Public speaking is the #1 fear in America back in the days. And I see little kids come up like you and have the nerve to come up here and speak. As I take a look at your card, tell everyone a little bit about yourself. I see you got games, you just say whatever. Yeah, I like games. Take over.
I like playing Fortnite and I play along with my friends. I like playing Call of Duty and I've done martial arts for quite some time, but then I dropped out. I did baseball 3 times, 2 summers, and 5 friends.
And this is a true story in life. Your friends, you can count on one hand. So you're ahead of the game there. I'll tell you a little about karate. First of all, this is a Transformers card. So I get the size of 7, which is pretty cool. When I was in karate, when I wanted to leave, right? I've been in karate since I was 4. When I was in karate, I wanted to leave. My instructor said, well, I want to play baseball. My instructor said this, that changed my life. Why throw a ball when you can throw people? So I stayed in karate. Give him a big hand. Big hand. All right, buddy. Thanks for coming up. And for the kids, that kind of stuff builds confidence for job interviews. And karate built confidence for me to go up and tell that agent, you told me something, now you gotta do something. I didn't have a plan B, guys. What did you? I don't know. Any other questions?
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
So you mentioned you were doing an audition line with your saying, and you didn't know what a ranger was yet, so then when you were saying that you thought maybe it was actually like a park ranger or something fighting that. So now I'm intrigued exactly in your real world fighting experience, what would you do to fight a bear?
I have questions on that because I heard you play dead and they said no, but then I heard people like moving vertical or whatever the situation is. So what's the most common way to get away from a bear? Anyone? There's a. I would probably be in the Dragon Zord and just, I wouldn't step on him, I don't want to say that. Pick him up, put him back in his habitat. But, so, to answer the question, so when I went to the set, I didn't know what I was. That's why I was saying I opened the door and I saw this costume laying out. Suits, spandex, and I was like, I'm in spandex. And like one of those straps you put on, a baseball without the cup, and the shield. And my question was, can I speak? Because of the mouth don't do it. And so it was cool. And there was no bear. And then that's it. So you guys got questions back there? Yeah, go for it. You're training the kids the right way, all y'all in the PR.
So I don't know if this is necessarily a question for what you just said, but my kids, they don't believe you are actually the Green Ranger. We were supposed to get a photo of with you, we missed it. So they were expecting you to wear actually like the costume. But I'm like, this is him, this is the White Ranger, the Green Ranger.
Dragon Zord. Hey, I don't blame you kids looking at me going, this is it. Dragon Zord. Give me Dragon Zord power now.
If me and my kids can get a picture with you.
Yeah, we're gonna go, I'll go back to photo in a second, guys.
That's my question.
Yeah, I'll go back for you.
Okay.
And the reason why,
Can you say it's one more time again?
Scorpion time.
That's it.
And the reason why I'm not wearing my spandex is it's just cold outside. It was cold in the pool. Yes, that's the same thing. You guys have any issue? You got the microphone, pass the microphone around. Play right around here. You guys, 30 years Power Rangers, listen, you can ask me Power Ranger questions, you can get health questions, anything. I'm here to answer, or at least if I have an answer. What did I do?
I was just.
It was good, I just sat in the bathroom. Good moment.
Have you heard the Power Rangers audio drama podcast?
You hear what you just said? I stay away from that word, drama.
I know.
It's one of those things where I think everyone has opinions, right? And the world, so like, and I do deal with a lot of anxiety and a lot of stuff. And stuff does, people say it doesn't bother me. It does a little, but not in that area anymore, because I've kind of gone to the Legend of the White Dragon, and there's a lot of rumors on there. Anyone can change Wikipedia, anyone can change anything, and so the internet is a very weird type of thing, so I kind of stay away from drama. I had one guy a long time ago, this is when I first started signing, right? I signed autographs for everyone, people at the airport, I'm a nice everyone. Except there was one time I didn't sign it, I feel bad about it. But he was on, he said, I work on this Power Ranger thing, I really hate your character, and all that stuff, and I said, bro, I'm not signing your toy. I was brand new in this world, and I said, did you say you hate my character? It's like, for real? I said, for real. Right, we were the whole time, but I probably signed it. No, I don't listen to that. There's a lot of stuff
curious because the guy that plays Tommy on there, he sounds a lot like you. And it's a slightly different telling of the story.
But it's like a show or something?
Yeah, it's a show. Yeah, it's just
like drama, people talking stuff.
No. It's just like a reboot, like a more kind of adult-oriented reboot almost.
I thought you meant
like a radio play. Like a radio play.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's.
I really
Yeah. He sounds a lot like you. And that's why I was just curious if you had heard it.
I haven't heard it yet. But please don't post your phone number because people will call you and say they're me. True story. We get a lot of emails. I gave you a gift card for $500, and there's a page with like 70 followers, and it looks like my page. So anyway, don't send me gift cards. This is not me. Look through the blue check and make sure. We'll take a look at it now. Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
What was it like playing in the new Power Ranger movie without no lines?
Weird, and I tell you what, powerful, because if I owned Hasbro or Spawn at the time, the director did not want us in the movie, so we did one cameo and they cut us. And Brian was like, no, you need to be in here. So I went to the director, and the director really didn't care too much about me or whatever. And we did one small cameo, cheapest thing. It was townsman number one. And I just, they said, you're all good at social media, so you just take a picture of this. So I took a picture, Amy was there. Biggest applause of all times in that movie when it showed up. And the director was very angry because he spent so much money spending on this movie that's what caused Saban to sell it. Is that they didn't make the money they were supposed to do. And I told them a long time ago, before Cobra Kai was Cobra Kai, they should have done something in that genre. I think they're protecting their kid brand. So it was weird. They said no cameras on set, but I got the whole thing documented. Filming, no cameras on set, I was filming, they're like, tell Jason there's no cameras, they said, they're like, you tell him, bud. All right, here we are. I'm just like, yeah. But yeah, it was different, and it was great to see the reaction because it was a cheap scene, and it just shows that you have to tie in original people to something, So.
Hey, Jason.
What's that? I was the same way with
I heard that, you said that you were writing a lot of poetry and writing in general. Have you ever written a full episode of something other than Power Rangers or something? Did you ever hand in writing anything about White Dragon?
Well, yeah, I did, but there's a lot of things I wrote. I found, I did a movie called Burning Desire, it got tied in with a guy who passed away to his estate. I had a story that I did, and it's on Amazon called Black Dragon, before White Dragon, all that stuff. It's about a coach, MMA coach that works at a school, and goes to alcohol, he doesn't believe in himself no more, and then he meets a kid who's been abused, autistic, his brother's in karate, so he has a job to do to kind of connect with this kid, but they really connect with the kid. On the end of the movie, or the book, he cleans himself up, and they both become champions. And that was before Karate Kid, or Cobra Kai. And those are stories, and I write a lot of stuff. And I did with Legend of White Dragon, I did have a lot of say to what it was, like the DNA of being the White Dragon. But in the movie, it's pretty cool because when I go and I talk to Mark, I'm not the only White Dragon. There's hundreds of White Dragons. So it was like, what? Which means I can pass the crystal because I own the IP to any actor I want. So, but I won't for now.
Thank you so much for coming, buddy.
And writing, the only way I can go to express my feelings is through poetry. I don't know why. My daughter, Jenna, she writes a lot. She's 18. It's so hard to be a kid nowadays with social media. People are mean and all that, but I tell her to continue to write. She did a show last night. She's so happy she got a lot of likes. People live by likes nowadays. And I don't want to live by that. I want to live by love, not likes. So, yeah. Thank you. You pass the mic to someone else? Got a question?
Pass it down.
Anybody else?
Any stories, anything like that? Help me out.
Got one here and then one there.
If you were offered the role of Draco, would you take it?
You know what? My hands are so full right now with this movie. Being an executive, being a producer, being an actor, taking care of merchandise, I am super, super busy, so I couldn't commit to anything because I have my hands completely full. I like the Legend of the White Dragon because I built it, and it's hard to do something else. I just see myself right now doing this movie. It's so hard to take any other kind of roles, to be honest with you. After you see it, I think you all like it. Good action and acting. Eric Reed does Muay Thai. Tommy Oliver never knew Muay Thai. So that's why I still look different. So I probably have to do fine until I'm done. What about you? You know you would. Would you take it? Man, I can work past that shyness. A lot of people on that movie just gotta work past it. Just get used to it. Just camera time. What's up, buddy?
What was your favorite show growing up?
Good question. One of my dad's favorite shows really because he would play on TV, which I didn't really. He would watch Beverly Hillbillies and Mr. Ed and all that stuff. I like Three's Company. I like The $1 Million Man. Knight Rider was one of my favorite shows. And my mom said, she's like, get off that story, because the reason why, I talk to kids and pay attention to kids and everyone, I love them, and sometimes we get overlooked. And I was at Universal Studios and I found out my kid car really wasn't a kid car. I was even old. I was like, what? There's a guy with a microphone? Yeah, it was bad. But, David Hasselhoff was there, and I wanted to say hi to him so bad. And I know he's busy, but he didn't see me. But as a kid, I thought, man, that's like, I wanted him to say hi so bad, But I thought he ignored me for so many years, so I walked past his table one time and ignored him, and made me feel better. But sometimes kids, paying attention to kids is important. And when you guys were all kids, growing up, there was a lot of things that maybe your mom didn't let you watch Power Rangers. Maybe, I had to go constant interviews to defend the violence. And, man, the stories that I had to defend were ridiculous, but I did. Because we're not violent, we're educating kids in martial arts, and violence was created before television. But we're able now to encourage people to take karate, and realize what you're all about. So I think we had good messages, but it wasn't going to relate. You're not going to get it subconsciously until 20 years later. And now here we are 30 years later. Nobody cares about the car that's 17 years old, 18 years old, now it's a classic. 20 years, now we love it. Imagine the cars back in the days we had. I used to have a Volkswagen. My first car was a Volkswagen at the age of 14. Because I was dedicated to drive that thing. I would polish it. That Volkswagen today would probably be like $60,000. So I wish I could go back and collect all the cars. All the old cars no one wanted. But anyway, we got another panel coming up over. Okay. Guys, thank you so much. I'm going to take a little selfie even if you're not in my panel, if you're still waiting for someone else, but take a selfie anyway of all of us. So make sure you guys can see me go way over here. Y'all can, let me see. So I'll just do video, it'll be better so you can see the side. All right. Indianapolis Awesome Fans. Hey, first of all, thank you guys for listening, and thanks for being a fan. I do like to say this. Without you, we wouldn't be here. So, we love my fans, and without you, we wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? Remember, no one's greater, no one's different, no one's better than you. We're all the same, and I think we all deal with problems. The only difference is how we deal with them. You know what I mean? Love y'all, and I'll see you guys. I'm going to see you ahead of the photo op, okay? And then I'll see you guys at the table a little bit later. All right, thank you guys.
All right, please give another round of applause. Don't forget to go see what his booth. His booth is all the way right corner, the very opposite end from where we are now. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir.